Assalamualaikum.
Hello.
Anda bersama dengan saya, Afiq Syazwan.
Dan saya, Wani Carey.
Sekarang anda sedang menyaksikan
DidikTV.
Ya, sebenarnya inilah dia. Program khas untuk anda semua, mungkin khusus kepada pelajar-pelajar yang akan menduduki peperiksaan SPM 2020. Sebab macam yang kita tahu, SPM 2020 dah pun diinjakkan ke tahun 2021.
Betul.
Di musim pandemik ni, mungkin ramai sebenarnya pelajar-pelajar, calon-calon SPM. Dan lebih-lebih lagi sukar untuk kumpulkan ilmu untuk membuat persiapan yang menduduki peperiksaan SPM tak lama lagi. Jadi kami di sini akan memberi alat bantuan kepada anda semua sebab kita akan bersama dengan guru pakar
yang kita akan jemput setiap episod dan guru
juga
pakar
berlainan subjek kan Wani kan?
Betul. Jadi memang akan meliputi segala subjek yang anda ambil, tak kisahlah subjek itu subjek teras ataupun subjek elektif, dan hari ini semestinya subjek yang agak menarik juga.
Yep, betul.
Iaitu English language. Jadi anda semua dah sedia ke belum?
Dah ready ke? Jadi Afi nak beritahu kepada anda semua, anda boleh membuat segala persiapan sebab sebentar saja lagi kita akan bersama dengan guru pakar kita. Jadi siapkan semua saja buku nota, handphone, apa saja untuk catat apa saja formula dan juga tips yang akan diberikan oleh guru pakar kita sebentar nanti.
Betul.
Okay, be ready? Jom kita umumkan siapakah guru pakar kita pada hari ini.
Jom kita panggil seorang master trainer di CEFR. Kita panggil Cikgu Thanbeer. Good morning, teacher. How are you?
Good morning. I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you so much. Okay, teacher. Before we start, we would like to know some details about you. Where do you teach? Yeah, for now.
I'm teaching at SMK Suriyati in Kuala Lumpur.
Okay, SMK Suriyati. Okay, jadi kepada pelajar SMK Suriyati, you guys are watching and you guys are watching your teacher right now. So, teacher Thanbeer also a master trainer in CEFR for how long, teacher?
Well, I went for a master training in 2016.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Until now. You are still a master trainer?
Yes.
Currently?
Yes.
Okay. All right, teacher. So, without further ado, we're going to start with our English language today. So, we give the platform to you.
Firstly, I'm going to recap on the format. And then I'm going to talk about ways to understand the continuous writing question better. Then we're going to analyze and be familiar with the short text and graphic material questions. And then we are going to get familiar with the information transfer questions and have a go at answering them.
Okay, so this is the overview.
Yes, a quick recap of the format. Please bear with me. I know probably each session starts with this again and again, but it's very important that, you know how the marks will be allocated. Yes. So paper 1, in total, there'll be 85 marks. And it's, oops, how do I go back?
All right, sure. Oh, okay. Let me. Paper 1. Okay.
Yeah, it's a 1 hour, 45 minutes paper, and you'll be answering 2 questions. In section A, you have the directed writing, and in section B, you have the continuous writing. In the directed writing section, you will have to answer 1 guided composition, which carries 35 marks. And in section B, there will be a choice of 5 topics. You pick 1, and it's 50 marks for that.
50 marks, okay.
Yes. Okay. For paper 2, the total marks are 70. It's a 2 hour, 15 minutes paper. And we have to answer 33 questions. There are 4 sections in this paper. The section 1 with graphic materials and short text, which carries 15 marks. Followed by section B, you have the information transfer, which carries 10 marks. Section C, where you have comprehension passage, which carries 10 marks, followed by summary, which carries 15 marks. And section D, this is called the literature section, where the poem carries 5 marks and the question on a novel that you have studied carries 15 marks. So I'm going to touch a few things on continuous writing, which is a paper 1, section B. Right. Let me give you a general guide, yeah? From that 5 questions, you've got to pick 1, remember? So you're going to choose 1 topic. And how do you choose the question? Because you have choice from 5 questions, and usually students are, confused. How do I choose?
Yes.
So do you choose from the best question, the easiest, or what you can answer well? How would you attempt it if you were sitting for the paper? From the 5 questions, how would you pick?
Of course, I will pick the most easiest part and also the closest thing that close to us every day.
Okay.
Macam Afiq juga semestinya soalan yang Afiq nak pilih soalan macam mana?
The familiar question that we studied from the past year.
Yeah.
Basically from that.
Okay. Something you're very familiar with,
Yeah.
something you're
Yes.
confident, you have the knowledge, you have points to talk about. So, and another thing you got to ask yourself, are you comfortable with questions that require imagination, which is narrative, or questions that require facts?
Yep.
So which ones are you more comfortable with? You have to be prepared, and you've got to know yourself. What kind of questions are you familiar with? All right. Once you've chosen your question, you have to start organizing your ideas. You've got to start organizing your ideas. You've got to have your introduction, you have to have your body and content, and then you have your conclusion. Remember to write in paragraphs, use interesting expressions so that, you know, the examiner or, you know, doesn't get bored to death reading it. You have to try to make it interesting, all right? Remember, the examiner is marking like script after script, so you know it also depends on you, you know, to make that reading session a little lively for the examiner, yeah.
Right.
And please don't forget to end with a conclusion. Most of the time, students tend to write, tend to summarize what they have written in the conclusion. But another way could be, a better alternative would be, try to put in your personal opinion about the issue you're writing about, and perhaps maybe some moral value learned when you are writing the conclusion. Let's go on. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to show you a question from 2012 and 2019 and show you how it has changed so that you're more familiar with the current questioning style.
All right.
In 2012, a descriptive essay question will look something like this. Describe an outing with your friend. Yeah, very simple.
Yeah.
2019 sounds, the paper was something like this. A descriptive essay question was, write about the day you first met your best friend. Describe where you were and how you began talking to each other. Explain how your friendship has developed since that time. Do you notice there's a difference?
Very much different.
Yes, very obvious, isn't it?
Yes.
Okay. Which one you think is more challenging?
I think, of course,
the 2019, because we need to explain how your friendship, because from 2012, it just described an outing with your friends, so maybe it's more too simple.
Exactly, he's right. Okay, this is absolutely spot on. And because they've added the higher order thinking skills into the questions, and if you notice, there are 3 parts to the question. It's like you're peeling an onion, you know.
Yes.
You've got to answer all 3 parts, and you have to be very careful. Each and every question is going to be something like this, where there are 2 parts or 3 parts to it, and you have to address each part, or else you are going to lose marks.
Yes.
Yeah, it will affect your marks.
So guys, be careful.
Right. So let's dissect the question. What do you do once you get the question? Right, don't straight away take the paper and start writing, you know. The first day I met my friend, and then you forget about the other things.
Yeah.
It's very important that you write an outline. Okay, so dissect it this way. Okay, I like to use the word dissect. Okay, write about the day you first met write about the day you first met your best friend, and then describe where you were and how you began talking to each other, and then explain how your friendship has developed since that time. So so you've got to come up with an outline. So the day, when was it? Which year? How old were the both of you when you met? If it's where, place, where were the both of you? Sorry, what were the both of you doing when you started to talk to each other, and then explain how your friendship has developed. Perhaps you can say how the friendship developed, what activities you do together till now, how often you communicate with each other, how much you depend on each other. So that would show how the friendship has developed since then till now.
Yeah.
So then you have covered all the parts of the question and you're safe.
Yes.
Right.
But teacher, it's stated here it has 3 parts. Does it mean the first part must be first paragraph, second part, second paragraph, like that?
No.
Or it depends to us?
Depends on how you organize it. But actually, I have broken it into 3 parts. Actually, the question it's just a question, like in a small paragraph.
Okay.
Yes, yes. So what I'm saying is, when you get the question, you break it down into the parts. So you make sure you're answering each part of the question.
Oh, Okey, jadi pelajar-pelajar sebenarnya lebih orang kata membantu kalau dapat memecahkan kepada 3 bahagian ni untuk membuatkan isi, untuk buat huraian, contoh. Lebih mudah.
It is students' initiative sebenarnya. Like what teacher did was she divided into 3 parts, but the question only stated in one paragraph. But we have to find what is the part that the question want us to answer. Okay, teacher, let us proceed.
Yes, thank you. You made it very clear for them. So this is my suggestion. You do the outline, okay? Take out all the parts that, break down the question into all the parts. So it's clear that, you know what to write in your story, okay? And then beside your outline, of course, this has to be beefed up furthermore. You have to talk about, you got to add in some details, You got to really prepare the outline before you attempt writing it. Or else you might forget a few details and therefore you will not be able to answer the question as required.
All right.
So beside the outline, I would suggest you write down some idioms or proverbs that you can use to answer this question. So this would really increase your marks for language, so that you sound more expressive. You can show the examiner, or just like reading a novel, right? When you read a novel, it's very interesting because you'll see idioms being used or proverbs being used. For example, for this essay, which is on friendship, you can use a proverb like a friend in need is a friend indeed, a shoulder to cry on, like 2 peas in a pod, birds of a feather flock together. So, can I write on this thing? Okay.
Can.
Okay, let me find the pen.
Okay.
Okay. What color do you want, teacher?
Black. Let's just go for
black.
black. Okay.
Let's try.
Yeah, a friend
Okay.
in need is a friend. Oh dear, not enough space. Indeed.
Indeed.
Yes. A shoulder to cry on, like 2 peas in a pod, to show that it's your best friend, right? To show that you're very close. Birds of a feather flock.
Birds of feather flock
together. So such expressions would really help to bring your writing alive.
Okay.
But of course, we have to know the meaning also, right, teacher?
Of course. So you have to use it wisely and in context correctly, or else you don't get the marks that you should get. All right. So you have to use it wisely and in context and use it correctly.
Okay, teacher. So that is for the outline and also the language. Okay, what do we have next here, teacher?
Write a story about being alone. Okay. Write a story about 2 people who had an argument because of one of them had lost a mobile phone. And your story, and they both realized how foolish they had been. Okay. So this is a narrative. Okay. And again, the question has changed. Okay. Where there is more to a question and more things that you have to address in the question.
Okay, teacher, before we proceed to the next, so saya harap kepada anda semua yang dah memberi fokus sepanjang 15 minit pertama ini, anda dapat mengambil ini supaya formula dan juga panduan yang sangat bermanfaat. Tapi jangan ke mana-mana, kita berehat dulu sebentar sebab selepas ini kita akan bersama lagi semuanya dalam DidikTV. Jumpa lagi kita dalam DidikTV. Jadi hari ini kita masih lagi belajar bagaimana untuk menguasai subjek bahasa Inggeris.
Ya, betul. Dan kita akan teruskan sesi pembelajaran kita bersama dengan Cikgu Thanbeer. Let's go, teacher.
Okay, let's continue. I think we stopped here at the 2019 essay question. Write a story about 2 people who had an argument because one of them had lost a mobile phone. And your story, and they both realized how foolish they had been. Okay, so you have to identify this as a narrative. So in a narrative, you have to have all these elements: characters, setting, beginning, climax, ending. You have to make sure that you have these elements, okay? And then go back to the question, break it down. Remember, you've got to break it down whenever you get the question. 2 people, so you've got to decide, who are they? Their relationship, is it siblings, a brother and sister, 2 friends, who are they? How and where were they when one of them lost the mobile phone? So you've got to beef this up. You've got to write the outline. You've got to think of these things, so you include them because the question requires it. And then describe the argument, why they argued, what happened. Was it because they had an argument and then they lost the phone, or because they had an argument because they lost the phone? You've got to make these decisions as you're writing the outline. Then describe the foolish thing they did. You know, what is it? Did they get physical? Did they start fighting? Or they had an argument? They said some nasty things to each other? What happened? What was the foolish thing that they did? And then make sure, many students do that, end with the given sentence. You have to end your narrative with the given sentence, or else it will be as if you did not answer the question. Right?
Okay. So it means they just deduct the mark if we don't write the good ending.
Your marks go to a band lower, something.
All right. So next.
Right. So these are the different types of questions that you would see in your examination, and I'm highlighting from 2017 to 19 because, as we've seen, the questions earlier did not have the HOTS element in it, and there were more HOTS more of HOTS questions since this year. So if you want to get a clearer picture of what kind of questions you will see in the 2020 paper, perhaps visit 2017, 2018, and 2019 papers. So you have an expository question. Oh, this one, this question was a little controversy occurred with this question. If you had the opportunity to move another part of Malaysia, where would you choose to live, and explain your choice? If my memory serves me right, some students went and said outside of Malaysia. They went and wrote Australia and all that. So that is why, as I'm emphasizing it again and again, once you get the question, do what I say. Write the outline, and then you highlight the words in the question, and you know what you are doing, because or else you're going to make mistakes and you know, it can't be corrected. The opportunity is gone. So you have to be very careful, write your outline, and make sure the keywords are in your outline. Yeah?
All right.
Now, if you're answering a narrative question, it's kind of popular with the students, narratives, okay? Because you don't have to have facts, not so many facts, but it enables you to use your creativity and your imagination. So I'm going to share with you a technique today that you could use in your exam, which is the show, don't tell technique. The show, don't tell technique, where, for example, you want to show that your character is happy. Instead of just saying he was happy, you could describe the body, face, and voice of the character. So let's compare these two sentences. He was happy versus his smile broadened from ear to ear. He clapped his hands and jumped up and down with joy. He giggled and squealed with excitement.
Wow.
Compare that to this. How is it different? How do you feel it's different?
It is different because it looks more complete sentence, and it allows the audience to know by imagining the situation, by just saying happy. But with this sentence, people will know the exact situation.
Imagine what is happening.
The
the body, face, and voice.
Exactly, Moni. Exactly, guys. It just makes the writing more lively. You can immediately imagine what the character looks like, the face, the body, and the voice, and immediately. I'm into your story. You brought me in, you know. I'm emotionally invested in your story. But since this is an exam and there's a time constraint, so I would suggest that you use a little bit of the show, don't tell technique, because it's a little time consuming. So, but just make sure you use some of it, but not the whole story is about the character's emotions, but you do add some flavor into it by adding this technique. It makes it more lively and more interesting.
Okay, cool.
All right.
Good.
Nice technique, teacher.
Nice technique, teacher. Thank you so much.
Yes.
Let's move on.
Moving forward.
Thank you.
All right.
Okay. And then there's anger, for example, in the story again, the short story, the narrative about losing the mobile phone. When you when you lose your mobile phones is it's your lifeline, right?
Yes, our precious thing.
Yes, we can't live with a mobile phone. Imagine losing it. You'd be so mad, it's so angry.
Yes.
So instead of just saying she was angry, you could say, and maybe this is the part where you start arguing with your friend. Her cheeks turned red and her eyebrows narrowed. She clenched her fists and jammed them to her sides. She growled at me through her clenched teeth, Can you imagine the anger?
True.
Right? Yeah. So again, you're describing the body, the face and the voice. So it just makes the story more interesting and more vivid and lively.
Okay.
Yes, so I would suggest that you, before you enter the exam hall, you think about ways to describe happiness, anger, and fear.
The most basic one.
Yeah. Have something prepared like this.
Yeah.
And then if the opportunity arises, then you can use these techniques. You are ready. You already have the language that you need to describe it. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
of course, for the students watching, you guys can use this one, right, teacher? It's already give you more marks than just writing she was angry. Okay, let's proceed, teacher.
Okay, can we move
All
on
right,
to the
next
next slide?
slide.
Thank you, Wani. Right, so now we are moving on to the next paper, paper 2. I want to highlight some things in the graphic materials and short text section. But let's get to know more about it. Again, if you're already very familiar, please bear with me, okay? Questions 1 to 8 is multiple choice questions that are based on short notes, graphic materials, and advertisements. And now in this section, what they're trying to test or assess is your understanding of reading and comprehension skills and sub-skills at recognition level. And the questions in the comprehension section, this is also comprehension, okay? What they're trying to do is they're making you identify main ideas. The questions will test if you understand the details, whether you can make conclusions and summarize, and whether you can make inferences. Yeah?
Okay.
So this is the hot bit of it.
All right.
Okay, so many students always ask me, teacher, what is infer?
Yeah.
Okay, when you see the question later, you will know what it is.
Okay.
Okay, but let me just explain to you what is infer. And why is it important? Infer is a comprehension strategy used by proficient readers to read between the lines. So this is something we have to develop as skilled readers. And so inferences are decisions, conclusions, or judgments the reader makes from information in the paragraph or passage. The information is like a hint, and the inferred ideas are not stated directly. It's not stated in the question. You have to infer it. For example, let me give you an example. The telephone rings,
Okay.
and Wani goes to the telephone,
Yeah.
and she picks it up. And suddenly there's a smile on her face, and she's smiling ear to ear. What can you infer from there about her emotions?
What is that?
She is happy because she's smiling.
Yes.
Hearing a good news, maybe.
And do you think she knows the person that she's talking to? Can you infer that, perhaps?
Yes, of course, because if she doesn't know the person, she may not be smiling that time.
Okay, probably they're close, and
Yes.
she's happy to receive that call. So
Right.
they're already inferring. You just did it.
Oh,
You
okay.
just inferred. And did I say anywhere that she's happy to take the phone call?
Okay.
No,
No.
just to the expressions, you're already inferring. So that is inferring.
Infer. Okay, all right.
Okay.
That's interesting.
Okay.
Okay.
Now, some tips before we look at some questions. Read the question first, and then read the stimulus or text, so you know what to look out for. Okay, so you know what information to look out for in the text.
Okay.
When uncertain of the answer, go to each option to eliminate the wrong answers. Okay, because sometimes you're not sure, is it A, is it B, is it A, is it B? Then you go to each one and then check it against the text. Okay, let's have a go and let's try answering some questions.
All right.
Okay, this is a Parsi question again. There has been much talk of the semi-final match between Pahang and Selangor football teams. The media has hailed the defender Zaini Ismail as not only the best in the country, but also the key to Pahang's triumphs. The Pahang team itself believes he can put a stop to Selangor's winning streak. The Selangor team, on the other hand, is depending on its striker Izani Hussein to carry the team through
The
the
final.
final. Now, which of the following is true? Okay. Let's see. Selangor has qualified to play in the final? No, it's not
No.
stated.
Not yet.
Okay. The secret of Pahang's success is its defender.
Depending on striker.
Okay. But also the
Defender.
key to Pahang's triumphs. So that's another thing I want to highlight. You will not see the same words used
Yeah.
from the text in the options. Okay, so this is again hot. Okay, you have to use your inferencing skills and also understanding the meaning and context to find out, to arrive at the answer. So the answer is B, because the secret of Pahang's success is the defender, and this is what they're saying. It's the same meaning. Okay, so it's been rephrased. Do not look for the same words there. You will not see it. Okay, so you have to use your comprehension skills to identify the answer.
All right.
Okay, all right.
Means
Thank you.
Pahang's triumphs is same with Pahang's success.
Yes.
So we can clearly see the answer already.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay, you're still not sure, then you go through C and D, and you will see that that's not the answer.
Okay,
Okay.
teacher. All right. So
Shall
this
we-
for the example of question section A, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Shall we look at one more example?
Sure.
Sure.
Okay.
We can see for the last one before we take a break. Okay. So
Okay.
here's the
Okay.
last example.
Right. Position vacant, a full-time swimming instructor is immediately required by a coaching-based educational establishment. You must be qualified to train both beginner and advanced swimmers between 13 and 17 years old. An attractive remuneration package including housing awaits successful candidates. The successful applicant should be 17 years old. Okay, let's use the elimination strategy, because this thing is very sensitive. Okay. No, okay, between 13 to 17.
Yeah.
So A is not the answer. B, look for accommodation. No, because housing is provided. So you see again, they didn't use the same word with housing and accommodation. It means the same thing.
Okay.
Right? C, be available to start work immediately. Is it stated?
No.
It's immediately required, but you didn't say start. You didn't say work immediately, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, but immediately required.
Quiet.
Yes.
Okay, and they have wide teaching
Teaching
experience. Okay, qualified to train both
Both
beginner
beginner
and
and
advanced
advanced
swimmers. It means that the applicant has to have wide teaching experience, and
Yes.
therefore the answer is D.
D. All
Okay.
right.
Oh.
Stated that qualified to train means, of course, when you're qualified, you have experience more than others, right, teacher?
Yeah.
Okay.
Beginner to advanced. So you have to be able to handle advanced students. Therefore, you have to have wide teaching experience to handle. So it's a bit testing of your general knowledge as well, yeah?
Yes,
Yeah.
true.
Betul.
Yeah.
All right,
Okay.
so that's a great explanation, and it gets more interesting.
Betul. Jadi kami harap supaya tips dan juga panduan yang diberikan daripada teacher dapat memberikan manfaat kepada anda semua. Tapi sebelum tu kita tak habis di sini. Kita akan
Yes.
sambung lagi selepas ini semuanya dalam
DidikTV.
CAPP adalah pendekatan pembudayaan norma baru untuk mencegah penularan COVID-19. C adalah cegah COVID-19 dengan mendidik keluarga serta komuniti norma baru kehidupan. A. Amalkan tingkah laku baik bagi menyelamatkan diri, keluarga dan komuniti dari jangkitan COVID-19. B. Patuhi SOP pengoperasian sektor-sektor utama negara dan lain-lain arahan kerajaan. B. Pantau status kesihatan diri dan keluarga. Segera dapatkan rawatan jika bergejala, lakukan saringan suhu badan dan gejala sebelum memasuki tempat kerja, institusi pendidikan, pusat jagaan seperti rumah orang tua dan sebagainya. CAPP bertujuan melindungi daerah hijau kekal bebas dari jangkitan COVID-19 dan menukarkan daerah kuning kepada hijau dalam tempoh 14 hari. Putuskan rantaian jangkitan COVID-19. Kita teguh, kita menang.
bersama saya Wani Kerry
Dan saya Afiq Syazwan
dalam DidikTV. Okey, Afiq, kita dah rehat sebentar tadi dan Wani harap semua pelajar dah minum air, dah
Afiq
tenang.
pun sempat makan coklat tadi. Tambah energi.
Ya, okey. Tanpa buang masa, jom kita teruskan bersama Cikgu Thanbeer. Let's proceed, teacher, with our next example.
Yeah.
Yes. We were going through section A, graphic
Yes.
materials and short text, and this is another example. Okay, let's read this. Children love art, whether they're painting, drawing, or cutting up things to glue together. It's the favorite thing to do. Instead of always giving them art paper, let them use whatever materials they already have around them, such as fabric scraps or even old newspaper. Show them that art can be made from all things. This will not only encourage creativity, but it will also give them thinking about reusing things. Bigger children can work with things like discarded cabinet, chipped ceramic, and other materials. Get them to redesign something that others deem as junk. Okay. So don't worry about the jargon there or difficult vocabulary. Okay, they're not testing in vocabulary, but you need to understand the overall meaning.
Question.
Okay. All right. Which title best summarizes the above text?
Okay.
So you've got to select a title for this text.
How do we know this, teacher?
Yeah, good one. Okay. So we use the elimination technique I was talking about. We'll go through each one and then check it against the text. Okay. A. Art. The benefits of taking it up as a hobby. Did they mention anything about taking art as a hobby? Doing your free time?
No.
No.
B, so that's out, okay, it's not A. Skills that develop in the early years. Did it just talk about, okay, you need to know what's early years, you know, children who are like 1 to 6 years old,
Yes.
okay, early years when they are. So do they just talk about children who are younger or older kids too?
No.
So sorry about that.
Children love art.
Maybe the children.
Maybe children can work.
Okay, all right. So do they just talk about children or they talk about bigger kids as well?
Bigger kids as well.
Yeah. So therefore, this is not the answer. They're just not talking about kids in the early
Yeah.
years. They did mention bigger children. So therefore, B is not the answer.
Yeah. All right.
Okay. Let's look at C. Art. Making it from what's available.
available.
Okay, let's look at this. From what's available means things that you already have around the house. So you don't have to buy them. So let's see. Instead of always giving them art paper, let them use whatever materials they already have around them, such as fabric scraps and even old newspapers.
Yeah.
Do you think this could be the answer?
Yes, it could be the answer because it has the keyword use whatever materials.
Yes, exactly.
right?
Yes.
Yes.
But you're still not sure. Very good one.
Yes.
You're still not sure.
Okay.
Let's look at D, okay? Helping children to appreciate it. It here referring to art.
Yeah.
Do they talk about children should appreciate art and anything about that?
No.
No.
No. So therefore, the answer is C.
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 Okay.
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 Yes.
All right. That's cool. Okay. Moving on.
Okay, another question. I think this is the last one. Okay.
Okay.
All right. This is a newspaper report. Tennis icon Emily Toner is about to make her first appearance in the Delhi Open and will be seeking revenge against one particular player, England's Veronica Walters. The Olympic champion was easily beaten by Walters in the quarterfinals of the Tournament of Champions in New York last month. Although Emily Toner bounced back to win the Paris Open this month, she's looking to get even with Walters, a player she had lost to twice in 27 meetings. Okay, so let's look at the question. Actually, I did say we're supposed to read the question first, right?
Yeah.
And then the text. Okay, see, teacher make mistake. Sorry, yeah? So we should look at the question first, then we know what to look out for.
Okay.
Right. From the newspaper extract above, we know that Emily Toner, okay, so you've got to make a conclusion about what you have just read.
Yeah.
Is she keen on beating her rival at the Delhi Open? Okay.
Might be true.
Okay. Yes. Okay. Looks like she is, but
Yeah.
okay. If you want to go through the other options, you should go through other options.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes,
Just
yeah.
be sure. Okay.
Yes.
Let's not leave any room for questions and uncertainty. Let's be
Yes.
certain. B was defeated in a most recent tournament. Okay. Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
No. Most recent tournament.
Quarter.
Nope.
It doesn't
Okay.
state there.
Yeah. Won against Walters in the Olympics.
Olympic.
No.
No.
Okay. All right. It's not stated that.
Yeah.
No, she Olympic champion was easily beaten. Walters. She was beaten by Walters. Okay, so she did not win against Walters. So that's wrong. D, lost the last time she played in Lille. No. So the answer is A. She's keen on beating her rival because it's mentioned a couple of times. We'll be seeking revenge against one particular player. She wants to get even with Walters. Okay, so which means she's keen on beating the rival. Therefore, the answer is A.
All right. It means that it doesn't happen yet, right, teacher? Because it stated is keen on beating.
Yes.
And here it's about to make her first appearance.
Yes. The competition is about to happen. Yeah.
About to happen.
Yes.
Okay. So that's the answer. All right.
So now,
Okay. So we're going to move on to paper two. Paper two still in section A, but now we're going to look at questions 9 to 15. Just now we looked at questions 1 to 8. Now 9 to 15. It's based on a rational clause with blanks to fill. So this section tests your grammar and vocabulary, and they usually deal with tenses, simple present tense, past tense, okay, all the tenses, all right?
Yeah.
Your articles, and the. So you have to be, if you're still not certain on how to use it, open up the grammar book and go through it, go through the notes. So you're certain when to use and the, determiners, the, this and that, prepositions, okay, and the pronouns. So anything you're not certain, make sure you find out. Okay.
All
Don't
right.
leave it to be unknown. Go and know the unknown.
Yes. Okay.
Right. So I'm just going to show you 3 examples.
Okay.
Playing games is nothing new. In many ways, games are important as they prepare us for the. Okay. So it can't be ways of life. Okay.
Yeah.
Because games doesn't prepare you for times, for standards of life.
Challenges.
Challenges.
Yeah.
Okay. Challenges of life.
Okay.
Yes. In the past, playing games mainly. Okay, so the clue there is in the past. So you need to know what is the past tense of mean. Mean means meant, meaning. So you know it's in the past, so therefore you got to choose the past tense.
Meant.
Meant. Okay.
All right.
Doing physical activities, whether in school or with friends.
in the street.
Yes.
One important lesson that children learned from playing these games was to accept defeat.
By grace, for grace, over grace, or with grace. You accept defeat with grace.
With
okay?
grace.
Yeah?
Okay.
And dignity.
All right.
all right.
That's quite
Tricky.
Yeah.
tricky but easy answer.
Yes, it is. So you
Okay.
have to think carefully, and you have to have sound knowledge of the grammar.
Yeah.
As I said again just now, as I've said earlier. Okay, do open up your grammar books and check whether you understand the use of prepositions and grammar. It's always feels good when you're more prepared
Yes.
than underprepared.
Yeah. All right.
Okay, itulah dia. Tips dia. Jadi kena ingat. Kena ingat.
Yes. Okay, teacher.
Right. So let's look at paper 2, section
Section B.
This is the information transfer section. Okay. It seems easy, but it is easy, but you have to be careful. Again, whenever sitting for any examination, you have to be very careful and read the
Yes.
questions
All right.
carefully. So what they are testing here really is the ability to transfer relevant information from one text type to another accurately. Okay, so let's have a look. So what are you going to see in the question is, what you have to do for this question is, you have to read the nonlinear text, okay, that means probably a graph, a short passage, maybe dialogues, okay, and then fill in the blanks of a graphic organizer, a blog, a dialogue, or match statements to a person, etc. It can be anything, okay?
All right.
Right.
Okay.
Okay, so this is just some notes for you to look at what has been tested in the past. 2017, the text that was given to you was in the form of advertisement. In 2018, the text that was given was an article. It's an article as well. And they're all multi-text. Okay, I will explain to you what is multi-text shortly. Okay, just keep that at the back of your head. What is multi-text?
Yeah.
Okay. And this is the task, okay? You had to complete a block entry. Here you had to match statements to a person. And here you had to match statements to a person. Now, why we're doing this is because so that you know what to expect. You know, so when you see something like this, oh, I never see this kind of question before. You know, and then you tend to panic. So to reduce that anxiety that you will have, it's just good to look at what has been tested in the past before. So when you see the question, okay, this is something I'm familiar with. And don't panic if it's something very different, because what is testing really is a language. So don't panic either, and be in control. And this is something new, and it's okay, because at the end of the day, they're testing your ability, your language ability, and in this context, your comprehension. So don't panic. Be cool.
Okay. All right. That is why it's important to analyze past year paper also, right, teacher?
Yes.
Okay. This is the tips.
Okay.
Okay.
So, some tips before we look at the questions. Okay, how to answer the questions in this section. Right. The answers are usually short and precise, so don't write long sentences.
Yeah.
Because it's just transferring information. Do not put two answers in one blank. You know, some students, when you're not certain of the answer, you put two answers and thinking, oh, maybe the examiner will
choose which one.
Yeah, no, I'm sorry, guys, that doesn't happen. We'll just look at the first answer.
Yes.
And, you know, don't play. It's not a game of, you know, a lottery.
Play safe answer.
Yes, you get both wrong, okay?
Yeah.
So don't do that. This is the one I wanted to stress on, okay? Pay attention to the rubrics. Actually, for any question, even like just now in the continuous writing, I did mention that we have to pay attention to the question. There are a few parts of the question, answer all of them throughout the paper. Please read the rubrics. The rubrics meaning the question, the instruction. What is the instruction? Read that carefully. Okay, because this section is going to change. It's not the same every year. And I'll show you what it is shortly. Multi-text in this one, I've got two things to answer for you. Okay, so fill in the blanks, because in some years, they will ask you to fill in the blanks with one word. Then another year was two words. And another year, not more than 3 words. So you have to be very sensitive to what is required. Okay, just because a week before in class, teacher did an exercise. It's only 2 words, so you think, oh, it's 2 words. And that happens so many times. Answer the question that's in front of you on that day. Okay?
All right.
All right? And not something that you did in the class 2 weeks ago or a month ago.
Okay.
Yeah. Use information words from the text, because this is information transfer. You have to use the words from the text. And do not make spelling mistakes. Because
that's very important.
Yeah, because the words are from the text. So when you should not transfer it wrongly.
All right. So this is the tips for information transfer. So we have another example after this, right, teacher?
Yes.
But before that, let's take a break for the students and also teacher. Okay, kita akan berjumpa dalam DidikTV sebentar je lagi. Jangan ke mana-mana. Bersama saya, Wani Kerry.
Bersama saya, Afiq Syazwan. Semuanya dalam DidikTV. Ya, jumpa lagi kita dalam
DidikTV.
Mungkin sebenarnya selama beberapa minit sebelum ini mungkin anda dah cukup tips, panduan, cara-cara untuk menguasai subjek bahasa Inggeris. Tapi sebenarnya tak habis lagi kawan ni.
Ya, kita dah sampai penghujungnya dah dan nak habis dah pun kertas English paper 1 and 2. Jom kita teruskan dengan Cikgu Thanbeer. Let's go, teacher.
Okay. So we've stopped where we were talking about multi-text. Okay, we got to see what is multi-text. And I also promised you I will tell you about
rubrics.
Paying attention to the rubrics. Okay, so let's look at the text first. Okay, multi-text meaning in the information transfer text that they will give you, it will be in perhaps like, look at this. This one is something about a short description about what BL footwear is.
Yeah.
Okay, and then they give you a pie chart about shoe sales by brand. Okay, so which is the most popular? Which is the most popular?
Super.
Yes.
Super.
Okay, so that's quite easy to read there. And then the components of a shoe, and this is the tricky part. Okay, you will see in a minute what I mean.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, where they tell you about, you know, which part is the upper shoe, which part is the insole, the different parts of the shoe. So this is what is meant by multi-text. You will see something like this during your exams. Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe a bar chart, perhaps an ad. Okay, it can come in various forms, and probably they will have 3 different types of text. So this is what is meant by multi-text. Okay, so don't be surprised, don't be alarmed to see such questions. And that is why I was saying go through questions in 2017, 18, and 19, so you are a little more familiar with what the question types are.
Okay.
All right.
Okay, let's move on to the questions. Okay. Now that's the rubric, the instructions, very precious. You have to read and understand it, okay? Impression. Ibrahim is going on a camping trip. Using words from the leaflet given, complete his block entry below. Use only
One word.
one word for each blank. Okay, so you only use one word. You cannot use more than that. You'll get it wrong.
Okay.
And I've said it differs from year to year. Maybe this year 1 word, maybe next year, last year was 1 word, and then perhaps this year is 2 words. So you have to read the question and do accordingly, okay, answer accordingly. And then the second part, using words from components of a shoe, label the parts below, okay? One of the parts has been labeled, which is heel.
Yeah.
Use no more than 2 words for each blank. So what will happen if you use 3 words?
Wrong.
Wrong.
Okay.
will
Can you
not
use 1
get-
word?
Yes.
Yes, but nothing more than
2
words.
So
words.
1 word or 2 words, nothing more than that. Let's look at the questions. Okay, let's go back to the questions. Let's try answering this one question. Okay, I'm going on a camping trip next week. I went to a shoe sale at BL Footwear and decided to buy the most popular
Popular
brand. Wani, you mentioned
Yes.
which was the most popular brand just now.
Super.
Yes, and we got the answer from this section of the text.
Okay.
Okay, so we got one answer. Oh, we can write the answer, right?
Yes, you can
Okay.
write it. Okay.
Right. Okay, so it's
Super.
super. Right.
Okay.
I choose dash boots as the ground can get very
Very wet
when I'm
going.
where I'm going. Okay, so where this person is going is wet. So what kind of shoes he or she should get? All right, let's look here. Did you know that the foot contains more bones than any part of the body and is vulnerable to injuries? That is why we at BL Footwear only sell shoes which protect your feet and always ensure your comfort. Shoe design has varied through
Through
time
time.
and from culture to culture, with appearance originally
Being tied to function.
We are known for our decorative range, which is a popular choice for those occasions when you really need to make an impression. Is the answer anywhere here? The person is going to someplace wet. Would you buy
No.
decorative shoes
No.
to go someplace wet?
No.
So we still haven't found the answer.
Yeah.
So we read on. At BL Footwear, we cater for those activities, for other activities too. We sell lightweight boots for shorter hikes and waterproof ones to keep your feet dry at all times. For your peace of mind, we offer a guarantee with every purchase, and also for this month only, a free pair of socks. Okay, so if you're going to someplace wet, you're going to choose something decorative or waterproof or lightweight.
Waterproof.
Yes, okay, that
Yeah.
will be the most suitable, okay, because you're going to a wet place. All right, so
I chose
Waterproof.
waterproof, and make sure your spelling is correct.
Yeah.
And you spell as one word, you spell it as one word as well. All right. Okay, let's go on there. Okay, I'm really happy with them because the dash they came
came
in with very reassuring.
reassuring.
So I can take them back if necessary. Now, in what circumstances do you take the shoe back? Okay. We offer a guarantee with every purchase. Okay. So that's the answer. Guarantee. So we write down the answer. Oh dear. Guarantee. Okay. It's an N, yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. You will have an eraser that day, so you will erase and write it neatly. Okay. The shop also sells lots of what you might call watch shoes, but what they look like doesn't matter to me. So the answer is somewhere here. We read it. Yeah. Where is it? Yes, there.
Decorative
range. Okay. But this person doesn't like fancy shoes, yeah? Decorative shoes, okay. Decorative shoes can be quite uncomfortable, yeah?
Yes.
But pretty to look at. Okay. Next. I'm very confident that my new footwear will protect me from any dash during my adventure. I can't wait for my trip. Okay.
From any?
Okay. So you see, it can be any part of the text, okay? And that they did mention that BL footwear is known for shoes that protect you from injuries, okay?
Injuries.
That's where the answer is. Then we will go back and put in.
From any injuries.
So next will be labeling the shoe. Now this part is the challenging part, okay? So you have to know, okay, the part of the shoe that covers the top of the foot is called the upper. Okay, so that is the
upper.
No, that's the upper. This part is the upper.
Upper, yeah.
Okay. Right.
Okay.
Right. Then, okay, the interior part of the shoe that our foot rests on is the insole. Okay, where your foot rests on is the insole. Where your foot rests on. Okay, that's where you rest your foot there.
Yeah.
Okay, so you go part by part, okay? Don't get confused. The outermost sole, which is directly exposed to the ground, is the outsole. Exposed to the ground, that means touching the ground, okay?
Outsole.
Remember that, touching the ground, okay? Right, let's move on. The midsole is a layer material between the outsole and the insole, okay? And we're left with the last part of the shoe, which is, it provides support. Okay, all right. The heel is the raised component under the rear of the shoe. The answer is provided. The part that covers the shoe, covers the toes is the toe box.
The last part.
The toe box.
Toe box.
Okay. Make sure you get your spelling right.
All right.
Okay.
We have
And
completed.
we have completed it. You scored 10 marks.
I find it easy if we read the components of the shoe. When we find the answer, we immediately put it as an answer, so that we are not confused.
Again and again.
Yes.
Okay.
Do that bit by bit. Do it bit by bit.
All
Okay.
right.
This is another question. This is an example, okay, of what multi-text will look like. Okay. I think this is the 2018 paper.
Yeah.
Where it's about customer service. What it means to you, a short paragraph, I would say, of two sentences only, and then a survey, okay, presented to you in the form of percentage. No pie charts or bar graphs here. And then these are opinions of different people in the customer service. Okay, so let's look at the question. So what kind of questions are they going to ask you? Okay, so for this question, you have to read this, okay, what the person says, and name the person who said it. Okay, name the person who said it. All right. And how many words? We've got to look at the questions. So this is no words because it's the name of the person.
Just write the name.
So this is easy, okay? This is easier, so you don't have to worry about how many words because it's just the name of the person.
All right.
Okay? And the second part is, okay, Raju is planning to start a small business. He asked his friend Asman for advice. Using words from the article, complete the conversation. Use no more than 3 words.
No more than 3 words.
Do you have any tips for student out there yang mungkin lemah untuk menguasai kertas bahasa Inggeris?
So know the paper, be familiar what each section requires, and make sure you write, for paper 1, I would say, write short sentences. Make it short. Make it simple.
All right.
Okay, write in paragraphs. Okay, as long as you write in paragraphs and write sentences, you will get marks. So don't worry if you're weak in the English language. Okay, as long as you write, make sentences, you will get marks.
Yes.
And also for paper 2, paper 2 is sort of, it helps you. Yeah, the first 8 questions are, the first 15 questions are objective questions. So it's already helping you there. You don't have to produce as much language. And that information transfer, the answer is in the text. Yes, read your poems. If you haven't, you know, revised the poems, the poems are there, the notes are there. Read it. Read your novel, and you should be able to make sentences and write something, and you're on the way to getting good marks for your English language.
Yes. All right. That's a really great explanation and lesson we had today with our teacher.
Kami harap supaya panduan, tips yang kita dapat sampaikan kepada semua pelajar-pelajar dan maupun calon-calon SPM 2020 dapat memanfaatkan, dan semoga anda dapat memperolehi keputusan
yang cemerlang. Okey, jadi jangan ke mana-mana. Kita berjumpa lagi pada episod seterusnya.
Ya.
Bersama dengan saya, hos anda, Wani Carey.
Dan saya, Afiq Syazwan. Kita jumpa lagi di episod seterusnya. Mungkin subjek yang berlainan dan juga guru pakai yang berlainan. Kalau nak tahu siapakah mereka, kita jumpa lagi dalam DidikTV. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Assalamualaikum.